Hello everyone, welcome to my tutorial. I'm going to talk about today about the for loop, and this is so important that all of the languages do have this feature. And why do we need loop? We need loop to execute a certain statement time and time until a condition is false. When the condition becomes false, we get out from the loop and the next statement is executed. Okay. So let's go into the code, and I'm going to write the syntax for you. Okay, so let's say the syntax is for int I equals 0, I less than 5, I plus plus. Okay, and this block is called the for block. Okay, and after that I'm going to just print something. Okay, all right. So if you have a closer look of it, you see that there are three statements over here: int I equals 0, I less than 5, and I plus plus. Okay, so the first statement is called the initialization. The second statement is called the condition check, and the third statement is called the increment, or it can be decrement as well. Okay, and let me just write one thing here. I'm going to execute this statement repetitively. So what this statement is going to print, it's going to print the value of the variable I. Okay, now if we have a closer look of it, the initial value of the variable I, so we declared a variable I with type of integer, and we initialize that with a 0. So that is our first one, initialization. Okay, and then after that we get the value, we compare the value with this is the condition checking. Okay, we compare with this condition checking, and if it is true, it's going to print this one. Okay, and then after that the value incremented with this, so we know I plus plus is a post increment way. Okay, so that means the value becomes 1. Okay, and then the value is 1, it's being checked again with this is true, and this will be printed out over here. So let's write like this way. Okay, iteration, and print, and then value. Okay, so in our first iteration we can see that the value is 0 because I equals 0, right? And 0 is less than 5, so it's going to be coming at this line and is going to print 0, and we are incrementing the value. 0 plus 1 equals 1. Okay, in the next term it's the value of I equals 1, right? So this 1 is less than 5, this is still true, so we are going to print what? We are going to print this one. The value here is I equals 1, and then the new value would be, and then it comes here, it increases the value. 1 plus 1 equals 2. Okay, then the third iteration is going to be 2. It's going to be printing 2, and we increment it by 1, it is 3. And then next one, it is going to be 3, and the value would be 4. And then our fifth iteration, remember this is first iteration, second, third, fourth, fifth. In the fifth iteration we are going to get the value of I is 4, right? So when we get the value of I is 4, I is still less than 5, so this is true, so we are going to print here what? 4, right? And then we are getting the value of I equals I plus 1, which is the previous value of I is 4 plus 1 is 5, right? Now the next iteration, it goes with the value of I equals 5. Okay, so now we get I equals 5, right? So this 5 is less than or equal to less than 5. Is it true? No, this is not true, because 5 is equal to 5. So this becomes false, and we exit from this total block. Okay, we exit from this total block because the condition is false here. Okay, and then we are executing this. So we are going to see the print as end. So this is what our printout would be. Okay, so let's now get into the code. I have written a code just for you so that we can save some time. Okay, so let's run it. We have got initialization, which is int I equals 0, and this is our condition, I less than 5 and I plus plus. Okay, and we are going to print the variable. Okay, and this is our end of for statement, and immediate statement after the for block is this print statement. Okay, so now let's run it. Run as Java application, and you see like it's going to be printing 0 1 2 3 4, and after that is end. It's exiting from the block. And why 5 is not printed? Because the 5 is not less than 5. 5 is equals to 5. All right, so in the 3 statements, this one we can also write this way. So int I equals 0, and if you keep it blank, this okay, but still you have to put the semicolon, because with the semicolon the compiler understands like you have differentiated 3 different statements, right? Okay, so let's run it. Run as Java application, and see that the same output is there. Okay, so let's put it back where it was. Okay, so we have seen an example of incrementing the counter. This int I equals 0. It's sometimes we call it the counter. I is the counter, okay, because it counts how many times we are repeating. Okay, we can do it in a different way as well. We can do it reversely. So let's say I equals 5, and then I make that print it as long as it is more than 0, and we are doing I minus minus. Okay, so let's now print, and we're going to see like 5 4 3 2 1. Okay, so let's run it. Java application, and you see like it printed as 5 4 3 2 1. So initial value was 5. 5 is greater than 0. We print the value of 5. It comes here, and the value of 5 becomes 4 now. Then it comes over here again, and 4 is greater than 0, true. So we print value of 4, and then it gets decremented to 3. And then we see like 3 is greater than 0, which is true, and we get the value of 2 here. Okay, and then 2 is still greater than 0. Okay, and we print the value of 2 here, and it becomes 1 here. But when it becomes 0, at that point I or 0 not greater than 0, so that's why this is not printing. It is printing here. Okay, all right, so now there are a few things I'd like to tell, but before that let's get back where we had the code before. Okay, there are 2 statements like continue and break. Okay, these are very important. Sometimes let's say you would like to exit early from the for loop, because these guarantees, like in this case, these guarantees like it is going to exit iterate 5 times. After that it exits. But what happens if you'd like to exit before? Let's say I want to see like when it is 2, and after 2, the value of 2, I don't want to continue. Okay, so there is a syntax for that. So if I equals 2, I'm saying that break. So what does it mean? It means that when it is 0, this condition is not true, and we are going to print 0, and the value increases to 1, and then 1 is less than 5, this is true. This condition is also not true, so we are printing 1. And then when it becomes 2, what happens is, if I equals 2, I'm saying, oh, okay, don't continue, okay, just break it. So what will happen, it will immediately, whenever this condition is reached and this becomes true, the program directly comes over here. Okay, it actually exits from your current program. Okay, so let's run it. Run as Java application, and you see that you have got just 0 and 1. The rest of the iterations are terminated. The loop terminates when this condition is met. And how do we do that? We force the program to, or we force the loop to get out using the break statement. Okay, there is another good one. Let's say continue. Okay, so what the continue is doing is, whenever this condition is met, if I equals 2, it will just not execute the underneath the statements. It will complete the full iteration. I mean, it will go up to 5, but for only this value, or only for this condition, the rest of the block will not be executed. Okay, so the rest of the block is this one. Okay, or from here and until the end of your loop. Okay, so let's run it, and we see that 2 will not be printed. Okay, so run as Java application, and see that 2 is not printed. 0, 1, 3, 4. Okay, 2 is not printed because we told the program that, oh, okay, if there is 2, just don't execute the rest of the program, you just continue to the next iteration. Okay, that's the one thing. Okay, so we can tell you another thing, like this is a valid statement. This is still a valid statement as long as you have like 2 columns and 3 statements, but this is going to be bringing an infinite loop. So we do not want that for our program, and let's see what is infinite loop. Okay, now let me get my paint here, and I'm going to bring up a new one. New. Okay, so what is infinite loop? This is very important. Sometimes happens and we scratch our head and we don't find any solution for that. Infinite loop, that means when the loop never terminates. Okay, that means the condition is always true. Let's take an example. For int I equals, let's say 5, I greater than or equal to 5, and then I plus plus. Now look at this condition. This is going to be always true. First iteration, I is 5, 5 greater than or equal to 5 is true, so the condition is true, and then I becomes 6, and then 6, the value of 6 is greater than 5, it goes to the 7, and then 7 is greater than 5. So you can never break this loop. You will never come to this statement, and that is very bad for programming, and your program can do some unwanted output. Okay, so that's it. We learned the for loop, the syntax, we learned the break and continue and infinite loop. Okay, so till then, we're going to we're going to end the tutorial now, and see you next time. Thank you. Bye.